Once upon a time, in the magnificent kingdom of Eldoria, there lived a princess who was admired across the land. Her name was Princess Seraphina. She was known not only for her beauty, but also for her kindness and gentle heart. Wherever she went, smiles followed her. She loved walking through the palace gardens, talking to villagers, and helping those in need. People believed she was the perfect princess. One day, wonderful news spread across the kingdom. The king and queen announced a grand royal ball to celebrate a new alliance between Eldoria and the neighboring kingdom of Ravendale. It was going to be the most magnificent celebration the kingdom had ever seen. Servants rushed through the palace, polishing chandeliers until they sparkled like stars. Musicians practiced beautiful melodies on violins and harps. The grand ballroom was filled with flowers, golden lights, and the sweet scent of roses. Everyone eagerly waited for the moment when Princess Seraphina would enter the ballroom. But earlier that same day, something happened that made the princess stop and think. As she walked quietly through the palace hallway, she overheard a group of noblewomen gossiping. They were laughing at a poor girl from the village. They mocked her messy hair, her torn clothes, and the dirt on her face. They said someone like her did not deserve kindness or respect. Hearing those cruel words deeply troubled Princess Seraphina. She wondered, how could people judge someone so quickly, just because of how they looked? And then, an idea formed in her mind. A bold, surprising, unforgettable idea. That evening, the grand ballroom shimmered with light and music. Noble guests chatted happily as the musicians played enchanting melodies. The king and queen welcomed their guests proudly. Everyone waited for the princess to arrive. Then, the palace doors slowly opened. But what happened next shocked everyone. Princess Seraphina entered the ballroom looking completely different. Her beautiful golden hair was messy and tangled. Her elegant gown was torn and covered in mud. And worst of all, she smelled absolutely terrible. Gasps spread through the ballroom. Guests covered their noses. Whispers filled the room. What happened to the princess? Why does she look like this? Is this some kind of joke? The queen nearly fainted with shock. Even the king stood speechless. But Princess Seraphina stood tall, completely calm. She looked around the ballroom, at all the shocked faces, and smiled. Then she spoke.
I did this for a reason.
The entire ballroom fell silent.
This morning,
She said,
People laughing at a poor village girl. They judged simply because her clothes were dirty and her appearance was not perfect. So I wondered something. If I walked into this ballroom looking the same way, would you treat me differently?
Guests shifted uncomfortably. Many looked down at the floor.
Would my worth change just because I don't look perfect tonight?
The ballroom was completely silent. Then Princess Seraphina spoke once more.
Kindness and respect should never depend on someone's appearance. True beauty does not come from fine clothes or jeweled crowns. True beauty comes from the heart.
For a moment, nobody spoke.
I have to show them this. Otherwise, they will treat everyone unequal who is below status than them. Now, I'm going to show you a video of someone that want me to be kind and being respectful to everyone.
You know, I don't think people will believe it, but I think it's self-taught. I don't think confidence is something that you are born with. I don't think confidence is, it's a skill set. And I had no confidence growing up. As a child, I had very low self-esteem. I was gawky as a teenager. I lived in America. I was made to feel conscious about the fact that I was Indian. That was weird at that time. And not by everyone, but just by like a few bullies in school that hated me. And high school's hard for everyone. But so I was in a very weird sort of teenage place. And when Miss India happened, I'm inherently competitive. I think the fact that I was competitive pushed me to teach myself to be confident. Initially, I faked it till I made it. I was just like, I'm not gonna let anyone see that I'm scared, or I'm not gonna let anyone see that I'm affected. And over time, I realized as a woman, as a girl in this world, if I allow myself to be hurt or if I allow myself to be affected, that's all I'm going to be. And I'm not, trying to say that it's an issue that just women have. It's not easy to be a woman in show business, and especially a woman who's opinionated, especially someone whom I'm sort of like, and I wasn't like that from the beginning. I sort of learned. So confidence is something I taught myself over the years. I started becoming okay with who I am. I became the best version of me. And then I sort of said, I'm okay, I'm all right. Even if someone else thinks this, I'm okay. And everyone can do that. People just don't realize it. I was always creative in school, but I didn't know what to do with it. I used to write, I did plays, I would do school, but my aspiration was never to be creative. And now that I found this vocation, I'm producing, I write columns, my creativity comes out in whatever way it can. And I think somehow something guides you. What that is, I don't know. I don't have a name for it. I don't think it's a religion. I don't know if it's God. I don't know what it is. But I think something is bigger than us.
Something is called education when it not only fills our minds with knowledge, but also teaches our hearts to be kind, respect everyone, and treat all people equally. I got this inspiration from Professor Ella. One day while I was at school, I met her for the first time. She told me about her struggles and the journey she had gone through to reach where she is. Listening to her story changed something inside me. I kept thinking, if she could change her town through kindness and determination, then why can't I change my kingdom too? And from that day onward, I started thinking of ways to make my kingdom a better place for everyone.
One by one, the guests started clapping. Soon the entire ballroom filled with applause. That night, the people of Eldoria learned an important lesson. From that day forward, they tried to treat everyone with kindness, no matter how they looked. And Princess Seraphina? She became even more beloved than before. Not because she was the most beautiful princess, but because she had the kindest heart in the kingdom. And so, the story of the Stinky Princess became a legend in Eldoria. A story that reminded people for generations that true royalty is not found in crowns or gowns, but in kindness, compassion, and the courage to stand up for what is right. And they all lived happily ever after.